Hey, you guys. So you can see I'm not alone today. Meet Catherine Gray.
Hi.
Founder of 360 Karma.
Correct.
She Angels. And has a fantastic show on Live, Love, Thrive, which we just did a live recording of. And that's why today's Mojo Moment is coming at you live from, frankly, a historic spot here in Burbank, California. It's called the Smokehouse.
The Smokehouse.
It's
been here for, I think, more than 50 years, I believe.
Yeah, and I was here, I think, 1,000 years ago when I still worked in the film business. And so, yeah, I walked in, by the way, and I kind of felt like this hit of old history, this old mojo, this old energy.
I love that. And they have all the old actors and actresses, celebrities from back in the day.
Yeah.
I saw Mary Tyler Moore on the wall over there.
And Humphrey Bogart as soon as you walk in.
Yes,
so,
it's so cool.
You know, we're in a piece of Hollywood. And so, and frankly, we're having a lunch break. But my commitment, of course, as you know, is bringing you a Mojo Moment Monday through Friday live at the 1 p.m. Pacific hour. All right. And today the title is, Women Deserve Funding.
Women deserve funding.
And as you all know, I'm a huge proponent of women's empowerment. And of course, that includes finances and being smart about our money as well, but also to make sure that there are more women-owned businesses. Right? And there are more women, voices in the world. So tell us a little bit about She Angels, what you do, and how this is really impacting women in the community.
Right. Well, the She Angels series, which people can find on Instagram and on our 360 Karma Facebook and website, is a new series that I'm developing. It started with a pitch fest where we had prominent female entrepreneurs listen to the pitches of up-and-coming female women business owners, and then got behind them with funding, and we followed their journeys, being mentored and coached throughout the year. And now we have 6 episodes from season 1. And we're pitching that for traditional, non-traditional distribution.
I love that.
And that's so that we can reach people around the world to provide resources and provide funding and provide information that helps women get off the sidelines and get into the game with their ideas to grow their businesses.
And it's, to me, I mean, it sounds like almost like a female Shark Tank.
It is. I call it a feminized version of that. I always say it's Shark Tank meets Marie Kondo.
All right, Shark Tank meets Marie Kondo. Fantastic. And so if you're just tuning in, by the way, there's a lot of background noise because we are having a lunch break. And Catherine, I was just on Catherine's show, so I said, come on, Mojo Moment for today. Now, the other thing that you're making me think of is it's also, do you know about Kiva?
Yes.
.org?
So that is something, is that microloans?
Microloans, right, which are, in third world countries.
Yes.
But I think it's again, to see, and I support Kiva, and so I've, supported many microloans through that organization, and to see when these women, even in those communities, when they get a little bit of funding, what's possible not only for themselves, but for their families, and then their communities. Right? So I'd love to hear, can you share about one of the stories from the first season?
So let me also say She Angels is about encouraging prominent, successful business women to get behind other female entrepreneurs. And so that's what the show is about. And so one of the people that won funding last year is helping make products in Cambodia. So she employs all these women in Cambodia that were landmine victims, polio victims, that otherwise wouldn't have any employment. And because of this funding and the coaching and mentorship, her company is booming. And she is bringing those products that they're making, which are made out of recycled materials, over to the U.S. And when they're sold, it helps them to obviously be able to make more. So it's a socially conscious type of business. And the reason we started this show is because women get less than 2% of venture capital funding.
Wait, I just want to say that one more time because I really like it. Women get less than 2% of venture capital funding.
Which means 98% go to men. And less than 15% of even traditional funding, so more than 85% of that goes to men. And we have to figure out why is that. So the purpose of the She Angels platform is not to just fund a couple of women, but to really educate the public on how underfunded women are and how are we going to change that. And there's so many different resources popping up out there for women. There's Women in Global Venture, where they're trying to train more women to be in venture capital firms, because the reason we don't get the venture capital is it's all men in the venture capital companies. And so we have to train more women to be in those venture capital companies. So that's one. There's another one out there called Enrich Her, and they give funding to women business owners that otherwise couldn't get like bank funds. Like, usually you have to be doing like $1 million. Maybe your company's doing like $100,000. So Enrich Her has millions of dollars to lend to small businesses that just need that little extra boost to get them going. And that's been the disadvantage for women. The lack of funding, the lack of mentorship. And so we have to fix that.
And so what would you say to the women out there who, I help them rock their mojo, but so let's say there's, some women out there who, I know a lot of you, entrepreneurs, and you are, working with your small businesses, and you probably could benefit from even a small loan to get the business to the next level.
Right.
What would you tell women to, to be able to either access some of that, or how to prepare for that, or what kind of mindset or what tools would be helpful for them?
Well, I think there's two things. One is they have to get their mojo going. I'd say, like you said, once you get your mojo going, you're unstoppable.
Yeah.
So it's about surrounding yourself by a community. There's so many different organizations out there. Some that come to mind are NABO, NAWBO, Women's Network.
Yep.
I think you have to surround yourself with a community. That's number one.
The Rock Your Mojo, women's mentorship.
Exactly.
You
have
too.
to. I was just going to say, you have to find mentorship.
Yeah.
It's so important because you can't go it alone.
No.
Nobody knows how to do everything, nor should you. I would say that find people who do what you don't do well. Let them use their gifts.
Yep.
So you can do more of what you love and what you're good at.
100%.
And then the third is the funding. And the funding is probably the least of it, but it is important. And so there's so many resources out there. There's also Goldman Sachs 10,000 Businesses, which helps people prepare themselves to be able to find funding. And there's lots of programs out there that help people develop their business plan, help them develop their investment deck, learn how to pitch their business.
Right.
And so all of those things are so important to finding the funding. Community, getting your mojo going, surrounding yourself with mentorship, and finding the funding. And so if you do all of those things and you find those resources, that's what our She Angels platform is all about. How do we find those resources to empower ourselves to be successful business people?
I love that. And so Catherine and her 360 Karma page are tagged here in the live today. So make sure that you follow Catherine and follow the movement that she is building, which is fantastic. Because here's the thing. When you're rocking your mojo, and you're then connected to your purpose, and then you do feel more confident about sharing your message and getting yourself out in the world. And if that requires some support with funding, this is the lady that can help you do that and get to the right places. And more importantly, when women are out there and, of course, building the businesses, running for office, supporting communities, even at the local level, whether it's with your PTAs or, within your organizations that you spend time in, we are going to be a more impactful, more pleasure-filled, and more certainly mojolicious society as a whole. So ladies, get out there, go knock them alive. And this is kind of like the first sort of like luncheon. We've got some really delicious fish tacos waiting for us.
And I love that mojolicious. That's good.
So we're gonna get back to our fish tacos.
And be sure to see Deborah on my show, Live, Love, Thrive, which is on iTunes, YouTube, iHeartRadio, wherever you listen to your podcasts. And she was a great guest.
Thank you. And we are posting about that, so don't worry. We've got other posts here. Just you follow me here on Facebook, and you'll be able to link to that as well, because it was a great interview. All right, everybody, sending much love, and I will see you again tomorrow. Bye for now.
Bye.